Hey everyone, it's Laurel, and I have just learned that I have been tagged for a Tag Your It video where I answer 5 questions um, by Jaen, who spells her name wrong. Thanks for the tag, Jean, and I appreciated the kind things that you said in your video. So I will do my best to try and answer the 5 questions. Question number 1. Who inspired you to do YouTube and/or Ustream videos? For me, it's a 2-part answer. I started on YouTube back in 2007, and I was brought to the YouTube platform by a girl named Christina Warner, who was going under Star of May at the time. She had a great series called Make a Card Monday. And many of you know that I'm in the hospitality industry and that I traveled for work for a long time. And earlier in that year, actually it was 2006, I was in Baltimore area working, and Mondays were really awful at the hotel. And so you kind of got tired of watching TV in the evenings, so I would turn on my laptop, and I discovered YouTube back then, and I would so look forward to her videos because she just made it seem so easy. So I watched her, and then I started searching for other people to start watching. So I watched videos probably for most of 2006. That Christmas, my family got me a flip video camera, and I started recording videos to YouTube in 2007 in January, about January-ish. So that's where I began the YouTube. Ustream, I first became aware of a couple of years later, maybe 3 years later. I'm going to estimate maybe 2010 or so. I learned of Ustream from Paula Phillips, who is JournalArtista. I had discovered her on YouTube through her Art from the Couch series, and was really impressed with some of the things she was showing, and reached out to her, and we became friendly, and she was going to this new platform where she was going to do art live. I was one of the first people in the room, and I became her moderator. I didn't even know what a moderator was then. She grew in popularity pretty quickly, and has since gone on to be published several times, and we miss her quite a bit. So after I was modding for her for a while, ikerriluv, Kerri, encouraged me to, you should do a show, you should do it. And so one day I just thought, okay, what the heck, and I tried. And I've been doing a Ustream show. It's been at least 3 years, I would say, since then. And I've enjoyed it very much, and I've met so many wonderful people, either online or in person. I've had the great fortune to meet a lot of people in person, partly because I traveled for my job for a long time and I was all across the country, and partly because I hosted a retreat, or that I lived in a central area where a lot of people could get together. I attended a lot of retreats over the years, and everybody in the community has been very, very supportive, and I am still so surprised all these years later. I remember distinctly when I got 100 subscribers on YouTube, and I couldn't get over it. I still couldn't get over it. I remember saying to Keith, I can't believe there's 100 people in the world who actually like the same things that I do. It still is pretty amazing to me. And now I'm almost to 3,000 subscribers, and to me that's a really huge amount. And I've tried to keep up with it. When I first started, I remember saying, okay, I'm going to make one video every week, and it was I was doing cards predominantly at the time. And just imagine, you know, in these 7 years, it's just really taken off. And there was a time when I had to back down from doing it, either on Ustream or on YouTube, just because of my work schedule was absolutely insane. That really hasn't changed too much, or I was on the road, but the community has always just welcomed me back, and the friends I've made are absolutely fabulous. So, big thank you. 2, what's your favorite medium? I have to go with what I originally started with. Is I still like cards. I always come back to them. I always like making them the best. I always participate in a card swap throughout the year, just because it's very grounding. It's something I can do relatively quickly. I love to stamp. I love to color. Occasionally I'll get on a jag where I'm making mini books of various kinds, or altered objects, or, you know, three-dimensional objects. But somehow, some way, I always come back to cards. So if I only get to pick one, that's my answer. I'm just an old school stamper. 3, what's your favorite color? Kind of changes. But it's just funny about colors and how you name them. And I remember distinctly way back when, in 7, 8 years ago, when I was following blogs prior to going to YouTube and watching videos. I remember reading in Jennifer McGuire's blog about these things called distress inks. And there were 2 colors, broken china and shabby shutters. And I was like, wow, boy, I really get the color from the name. And when I saw the color, I was like, wow. So I had to go with like a broken china blue, which to me is a little bit of a teal. I do like certain color combinations, and I've used, you know, like the dried marigold and the dusty concord and the shabby shutters together in a really nice composition. I like that. I like vintage photo. I like browns. I like purples. I like blues. I mean, I like red with certain things. So to me, it's kind of ever changing and developing, and I like combinations of color together more than I like one particular color. 4, what 3 things would you take to a deserted island? Well, that's a tough one. Because there's so many things that I like. I would most probably, I want to hang out with Jaen, that's for sure, because she's got the solar array and the stocked 3, you know, huge storage bins of everything, and it just sounds like a good time. So what would I bring? I would probably bring things to make cards. And that sounds like a strange answer, because, you know, you would assume that there would be postage, but there's no mail, so, I mean, where could it go? I'm still going to go with, like, cardstock, good grade cardstock, my paper trimmer, and a good set of sentiment stamps, and of course some ink. So that's 4 things, but hopefully enough of my friends will be at islands surrounding me that I can we can all group up together and get rescued. Not much of an answer, I realize, but If I were a product, what product would I be? I think I would be ink. There's just so many things you can do with it. I like the distress line very much just because I like the colors. I like the archival line very much because of, you know, how true it is. I like versifying ink a lot because it's like just the blackest, richest black you can get. In a general sense, I'm going to give a general answer and say ink. That's what I will be. So thanks so much for asking. I think the tradition is that you need to nominate someone. So I'm unsure of who has been nominated, but I don't think that Kerri, ikerriluv, I don't think she's been nominated, so I'd like to nominate her. I would like to nominate Sharon, New Jersey Garden Girl. I would like to nominate Martha Lee, Seeking for Art. And I think Paula's already been nominated, but she was a big part of coming to Ustream. So Paula too, if someone hasn't mentioned her already and she's not too busy. Yeah, so Kerri, Sharon, Martha, and Paula. Tag, you're it. Thanks for watching, everyone.